Hello everyone, we have to discuss about that GS paper. One man's answer writing preparations देख लेते हैं. GS paper 4 man's answer writing preparation. Question number 5. Describe the role of the emotional intelligence in conflict the resolution and negotiations. How can the individuals and with high the emotional intelligence be more effective in the resolving disputes and reaching the mutually and beneficially agreements? Approach देख लेते हैं. Start with basic introduction on nanotechnology and then the linking and it with the health sector and write about the applications and also the highlighting the relevance policies and infrastructure and facilitated and by the government. Introduction. Emotional intelligence is the ability and to the sense and understand and the efficiency apply the powers and the acumen of emotions and as other source of the human energy, information connection and influences body. Role of the emotional intelligence in conflicted resolution and negotiations and high is the emotional intelligence and have many the abilities that the assist them in the creating joint and values for all the parties and involved in the idea in the deals. And for the example, formers IAS officer OP Chaudhary in the established an education city in the Dantewada districts in Chhattisgarh and was made the possible only by the winnings the confidences of the tribals and with the availability if the negotiations. People high in the artificial intelligence and are the fully aware of their the natural resources response to tensions thereby and they are the more open and to the cope with and the events and adapt and to such the situation and thus they we do the conflict and resolution. Artificial intelligence allow and them to the things and the objectively about the how to the achieve and their the goal in the negotiations. For example, civil servant and need to the know emotions and mood and the drives and of the persons and with the whom and they are the negotiations and targeted for betters. Equitension with the natures of the problems in the society and there the possible solutions and persons take lacks and artificial intelligence often assumed understood and it is the hard and to the understand and how you comes the across to the others and you feel the misunderstood and have you go down to the dealers. deliver your message in other ways and that people can understand and this is not relationship and the hampers and negotiations and process with the pupils and team. For example, recent farmer and protected another release and highlights the inadequate and the negotiations and with the farmers and this the effects the trust toward system and working of the bureaucracy. High artificial intelligence individuals for the resolvings and disputes and the reachings and mutually beneficiaries agreement and maintaining the composers and either positive problems and solving the attitude and the benefits the creations of joint objectives value and other components and of the artificial intelligence that is the regulating and once the more emotions also facilitated and mutually expected the agreement. And for example, the NSA and the chief Ajit Diols is known and for the negotiation for insurgency and the handlings and in the northeast areas and therefore artificial intelligence and help artificial intelligence artificial intelligence and help other civil servant and to deal the effectively and with the unreasonables and pupils and by the creating other positive atmospheres. Artificial intelligence will try to the resolve and disputes in the additions and by the understanding the subtitles and cues and the observings and the counterpart and reactions, and they would be the able to the determine the optimal offers necessary to satisfy the counterpart, and for example the weathers and you are dealing and with other trading partners and competitors and consumers or the colleagues and beings the others to the emphasis and be the creating in finding and win the solution with them build consistency and pay off. Conclusion: artificial intelligence, electronic intelligence, and with the social, emotional, and skills is so the critical, and because it is the provides and persons and with skills. It's provide person with skills to the things and process and the succeed and negotiations and resolve the disputes, and it's the teach and person and how to the recognize and understand their the emotional and feel the empathy and make the decisions and build and maintains relationship, and as there is no the separations between mind and the emotions. And question number 6, analyzes the relationship in between the emotional intelligence and organization performance, and how can the organizations and fosters a culture of the emotional intelligence, and what are the benefits and of doing so discuss. Candidate can start the answer and by the basic definitions and artificial intelligence, and then the explains how relations between artificial intelligence and the organizations and affect the performance, also the delights and misses to the enhances the artificial intelligence and how it will be the benefits. Introduction. Emotional intelligence is and the intangible forces and that the influences our the availability and to the negative our the behavior and social example and there through the communication and the decisions making. Emotionally intelligence and pupils are high the pursueships and teams and players, it help organization to excel. Body relationship between artificial intelligence or organizationals and performance, and now the how you reached to trigger for example incorporated and build. If either colleagues and in the organizations and disagrees and with you in the arguments, you might roll and your eyes and over slumps and things and down on the tables and to show the disapprovals. This the shorts of the situation and impact the working cultures and environmental self the also self harms and lead to the reduce the qualities of work, and for example civil servant and with good emotional understandings and during our and argument with the citizens and might the respectfully and the conversations and to the day escalates and the situation without making the others and person and feel the small because they don't agree and with you. Skill of the relation building and can be the achieved and with the high artificial intelligence and one the establishment the availability to use and one the awareness and the emotions of the others and to the develop and maintain the relationship, and thus the skills and are the vitals and workings in teams and with the partners and silent wonders. Fostering culture of artificial intelligence researcher in the diverse and field that indicates and that it is the possible to increase the emotional intelligence, and that such the training in the organization schools and college has the potential to lead to the other positive outcomes, and use the blended learnings training models allow the participant and to the conduct role play discuss and the interpretations of the scenario through the feedback. incorporated and quiz and test and online the testing and quiz and play and the integrals and roles in how pupils and recognize the most important and elements in the lessons, and it is help in the working in making them aware of their the etiquettes and the shortcomings, and workshops and certifications and programs and for the developmentals and behaviorals and assessment trainings, and it benefits and in the improving the persons and artificial intelligence and near the future. Several self-assessment and training can be the done and to the choosing not to the retort and immediately and answering wisely in conflict the person introspections and the taking feedbacks and from the peers, friends, etc., practicing the empathy and as other daily habits, etc. Conclusion: emotional intelligence stand as other very basic characteristic everyone's and must the passes and fostering and artificial intelligence and through the several method and definitely and help to the improves and the organizational and performance, but to the inculcate and the develop the characteristics is the long time process. Question number 7: and what are the challenges of the barriers and faced by the weaker section of the society in the accessing the justice and seeking the remedies or for their the grievances, and what can civil servant and play to the address and those discussion with the help of the situation? Example: start with the basic introduction on the both the scheme or start with the recent challenges and them as the per demand of the questions and provide both of the argument. It is unfortunate to be in the weaker section and but it is the worst and to be the marginalized and vulnerable and weaker in other developing countries unlike India. They face the several and difficulties in the accessing justice and the grievances racial and body challenges and the varies and awareness about the discriminations and law and according to the Upendra Bakshi and access to the justice significant and the availability to the participant in the judiciary process, but weaker section of the society doesn't have the awareness of the judiciary process. For example, the women and the LGBTQs, disabled and SC and ST, etc. Many don't have the knowledge of the NALSA judgment and sexual harassment act, SC/ST act, and many the communities like of the Adivasis and SC/STs are not aware of the constitution safeguarded and others the statutory provision and put in places for the upliftment of the communities and redressals of their the grievances, and as a result and they consider the discrimination and abuse the perpetrated on them as the banals at judications of the grievances, and this the aspected and involve how much time and takes and for the court and to give other final verdict, and this the aspected essentially and deal with the luxities in the police and investigations and perceptions and toward the weaker sections and harms them, and for the example incidents shown in the Bhim movie 2021 identification and recognition of grievances, and especially in the marginalized group and fear the system, and this the tend to unidentified and the unrecognized and grievances, and they see it as the alliance and do not access it. For example, in rape cases and women are the asked to the repeat the trauma faced by her the similarly instance of the caste and violence and of the discriminations and go the unreported, and because the police refused to the logged and the FIR and either the because of their the caste and the prejudice or the because of the fears and from the upper class and the dominatings in villages and complicated and process. According to the Daksha and access to the justice survey 2017 and complex the costly and time the consuming and process of the court is the sole reason for the vulnerable sections and not the opting to address the court. Role of the civil servant to address such the problems, and civil servants and with the empathy and the sensitivity and play a crucial role in the access to the justice or the redressals and of the grievances. For example, violence against the SC and the ST cannot be the adjudicated and as other normal act of assault, and thus the SC and ST Act 1989 and being used, and the civil servant can set up other mechanisms so that the people, especially and the marginalized, and known about their the right and the remedies. In case of the violation of the thus right and civil servant or any the official, and with the compensation and towards the socially economically weaker, and can help and by the approaching the code and for other judicially and remedies with the facilitating and services under the article 39 in the provide free and the competent and legal services to the weaker section of the society, helping out and them with the lok adalat informally and help out of the court and settlements such as the arbitration and mediations and the conciliations to cut the times. Conclusion. Over the past years, and the civil servant have the worked and to the protected and promotes and the uplift the weaker section of the society, and meanwhile there the strengthening and involve the social, educational and economics and political empowerments, and with the collective effort of the policy makers and state and the different NGOs.